Hi, and welcome back. I'm Tammy, and today we're going to be making a pie, and I'm going to show you my grandma's 4-ingredient pie crust. So let's get started. I have 1.5 cups of flour in my bowl, and we're going to add some shortening. I am using a big spoon, and we're just going to add a couple of these to this bowl. There's one. I don't want to come off. There's two. We're going to do one more. There's three big ones. Now I'm just going to add a little bit of salt in there. And I have a 1/2 cup of water here, but I'm only going to pour about half of that, about a 1/4 cup in there at a time, just to see where we are. Just going to mix this. I'm going to add the rest of my water. I don't like leaf flour. I heavily flour, as you can see. And I've already got flour on my hands. And I'm just going to get our pie crust dough out and put it on the counter here. We're going to add some flour to it. And this is a very, very soft dough. We're just going to work it just a little bit, not a whole lot. We don't want a tough pie crust. We just want to make sure all them lard lumps or shortening lumps that are in there are broke up really good. That's all we're doing. And really, I'm not even kneading, I'm just folding. We're going to spread this out a little bit more. We got our ball here now. You want to save some time, you can just put this in the freezer and get it out and let it thaw out whenever you're ready to make a pie. I've done that before a lot of times, but now we're just going to roll out our pie crust and get it in the pie pan. We just want to make sure it's going to be big enough for our pie pan and that it's about the same thickness. If you can see, it doesn't stick. All right, I'm just going to roll this back. Make sure we're not sticking anywhere. I like to move my flour out of the way because I don't want it all over the bottom of my pie pan. I will brush it off before I put it in the oven, but and this is even my grandma's pie pan. And I'm using a deeper dish pie pan for my pumpkin pie. Okay, now I'm just going to go around the edge and tear off a majority of the excess, but we're going to leave a little bit. because we have enough to make the lattice work on top of the pie. But I'm not going to need that today. So I'll probably just save that. Now I'm just going to pinch together. Make my little fancy edging. I'm kind of using the side of the pie pan to push against and then just tearing it down. So in the bowl, I have my can of Libby's Easy Pumpkin Pie Mix. And this is a 30-ounce can. And this mix here already has the seasonings in it, so we don't have to worry about that. And if you look at the back of the can, it gives you the pumpkin pie recipe. So we're just going to use this recipe on there. And we've got 2 eggs in there. And it calls for 2/3 of a cup of the evaporated milk, but I don't have any. So I use 2/3 of a cup of heavy whipping cream. And now we're just going to mix this together. There's our pie crust. Now we're just going to pour it in there. And this is why I use the deeper dish pie crust. Let me get this scraped down a little bit more. Okay, I got the rest of it in there. We're just going to make sure it's even and the top is smoothed out. And then we're going to throw it in the oven. We're just going to put it in there for 15 minutes on 425, and then we're going to back it back down to 375. I ended up baking it according to the instructions on the can. It was like 15 minutes on 425, I think it was, and then we backed the oven back down to 350 degrees for about an hour. And there it is. And look at that pie crust. Trying not to make a mess of my stove here. Look how flaky that is.